Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Good.
Doing good? Well, we've got two sets of guests today. One's on the phone right now. To introduce our guest and get started, Bob.
It's Wednesdays with State Representative Buddy Deloach. You got Buddy on the phone. Buddy, good to talk to you. Appreciate you calling in.
Great to talk to you, Bob. I hope all is well there. We're going to call this Wednesday Without Workizer.
There you go. Wednesdays Without Workizer. Buddy Deloach. So tell us what's on your schedule for today, what all's taking place up there under the Golden Dome.
Well, you know, we've talked about this before, Bob. I serve on 9 committees, so we'll have a pretty busy committee day, and our Judiciary Committee continues to work, and those are often long meetings. I see that the Senate Judiciary Committee passed out the governor's tort reform bill yesterday with very few changes. So as it works through their process, we'll be getting it before very long in our judiciary. We've got some real important issues moving along. The governor has an initiative on school safety that we think brings a lot of things into play that are going to make a difference. A lot of reporting requirements and a lot of things that enable various agencies to share information so we might identify these troubled students and get them some help before something real bad happens.
You brought up tort reform. As you mentioned, the governor's trying to push that through. You see that getting through, or is there any obstacles?
We're going to pass something. The Senate made very few changes. I think everybody knows there's going to have to be some changes made, but it's not unusual for the Senate to go on and pass something out and let the House do the heavy lifting. So we are accustomed to that. But we'll get a bill out and we'll pass a bill that I think will be a good bill. One of the interesting things about this particular bill, though, everybody that's looked at it, including the insurance commissioner, has said that don't expect it to have any significant difference on insurance premiums. And of course, that was the goal of the entire thing. But there's no solid evidence that it's going to do that, unfortunately. Hopefully it at least will slow down the increase in premiums.
And for those that may not have any idea what you're talking about with tort reform, explain what that is. What the purpose of this is, what the government is trying to accomplish.
It is changing some of the procedures for litigating damages that are generally covered by insurance. They come from automobile accidents. They come from slip and fall, premises liability, all sorts of things. One of the things I think is going to make a significant difference in some cases recently, we got premises liability suits for things that happened and even illegal activities that happened maybe in an open parking lot. If you had a parking lot in front of your building, it's midnight and you're closed and gone home and people are dealing drugs and one of them shoots another one, then they would sue you as the owner of the lot, which didn't make any sense at all. It's about how much duty you have to protect people that come on your lot, and that's something that's going to make a big difference. I'm vice chair of the insurance committee, and the insurance department has worked really hard to streamline. They've got their own Doge thing going on in the insurance department. And when you look at laws that govern them and things that require them to do administratively, they've gone through those things and come up with a lot of things that streamline their process, make it easier. We remove some requirements that nobody knows why they're there. They don't even make sense. One of the things I'm interested in, and I thought a long time, that many of these state licenses that we do annually, there's no real reason to do them annually. I mean, you can do them every 2 years or every 3 years. And And if somebody's out of compliance with their license, that's going to get reported anyway. But there's no magic to an annual renewal. And of course, that would streamline the process.
Again, if you're just joining us on the phone, stay with anybody delay. So you're saying that it's not really going to affect the insurance rates? I thought that was the purpose, to try to lower these insurance rates for people, because a lot of people are getting bombarded every time they go get their insurance bill in the mail. It continues to go up.
That was the purpose of the bill, but my understanding is all of the testimony that came before the Senate committee, when that question was raised, even the insurance commissioner said, don't expect it to have any near-term impact on your insurance rates. So I'm not sure that we should look forward to that. Perhaps it can at least slow the increase, I think was what he said.
What else is on the horizon? Budget. We talked to Blake yesterday. The budget's the big thing. I mean, that's the thing you got to pass. So how soon does the legislature look at the budget and pass that?
We passed the amended 25 budget, and we should finish work and have the 26 budget on the floor in about 6 or 7 days. As y'all know, Stephen Meeks chairs the Appropriations Subcommittee on Economic Development, so he has a big part in what goes into that budget. So, and of course, your senator chairs appropriations in the Senate, so those guys know an awful lot about those numbers. There's one thing that I want to mention, and I wouldn't mind hearing from my constituents in Wayne County. There's a bill that there are companies out there that help veterans go through the process of qualifying for their VA benefits. There's a state agency that does that, and they do it for free. But some veterans get frustrated, and they're private companies that will help them go through that process. And it would appear that sometimes they are more successful than those that do not make a charge. So there's a bill making its way through that we had in Defense and Veterans Affairs yesterday that will put some guardrails on those private companies. We don't want to do away with them because they've been successful in helping veterans receive benefits. It's a shame that they have to go to a private company and pay for those services. But some of them get frustrated because it just takes so long otherwise. And I can tell you from dealing with those veterans, it's a brutal thing to sit there and wait year after year for benefits that everybody agrees that you qualify for. So we're trying to work on that as best we can. It's a difficult situation, but we've got an obligation to take care of those veterans.
Education, the big ticket item. Blake mentions that's the largest item in the budget. We had a story this week. Some representatives are talking about looking at a different way to fund the education. The Quality Based Education Act was implemented in 1985. It's been that way since then. So, your thoughts on that? Is that getting any traction at all, or what's your thoughts on that?
I have not heard any new conversation about that. There are always proposals about how you fund it. And of course, in every one of those, depending on what kind of community you're in and your population and how your schools organize, there are always winners and losers. So I would think if there's any real change, it'll be a tough battle. One thing that's very encouraging, I've read about a couple of programs, in particular one here in Metro Atlanta, that have had great success in teaching reading. And you might recall, I've talked about that before. I taught reading both to children and later to adults in my early life. So I'm very interested in those reading programs. And that's so significant because if we can get third and fourth graders reading at least at grade level, it's a sea change in their education and actually in their lives. So that's incredibly important. So I hope rather than spending a lot of time fighting over that funding, that we might find programs that are actually working and we can prove that they work, and let's spend some money on them.
Buddy, I'm just curious, do you hear from your constituents or what's on their mind? I know you always, like to hear from them. As you mentioned, you want to hear from them on certain issues. Are you hearing from them during the session? Do they call you constantly or you get emails? How's that work?
They do, and frequently it's something that I can help them move through the process. Maybe it's a licensing issue, or they're dealing with the state and they've not had great success, or it's taken an awful long time, and I'm often able to speed up that process for them. Many times they call and it's about a local issue, and I'm always very careful not to try to take the place or usurp or even comment on the local government's authority. I just refer those back to them.
Understand. Well, again, we appreciate you being here on a Wednesday. Again, stay safe in Atlanta, and we'll check back in with you next week.
Great. It's great to be in Wayne County just if it's on the radio. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, buddy. State Representative Buddy Carter here on Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. We got more guests. They're in the green room. They'll be in the studio with us in just a moment. Stay tuned.
South Georgia weather.
Here's your WIFO forecast.
Good morning, everyone. A little patchy fog for the first part of our Wednesday. We've got mostly cloudy skies early on, but gradually we'll see some sunshine in the afternoon. It's going to be breezy. Highs today in the upper 70s. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy. We're going to bring in scattered rain showers through the afternoon. Some will stick around for the early evening. Highs tomorrow close to 80. Back to sunshine much cooler Friday with a high of 60. I'm Georgia meteorologist Laura Huckabee in the GNN Weather Center.
When further treatment is no longer an option, hospice can provide services to manage symptoms and difficulties caused by illness. Emotional, psychosocial, and spiritual care, as well as support to the families and caregivers, are all part of hospice care. Hospice of South Georgia has been a part of the health community in Wayne and surrounding counties since 1998. The professional yet compassionate attention provided by our staff is unsurpassed. Widely supported by donations from the local population, Hospice of South Georgia is the local nonprofit hospice in Wayne County. Our administrative office is located at 1625 Sunset Boulevard, and Hospice of South Georgia accepts anyone who meets hospice criteria, regardless of their ability to pay. Please call 912-588-0080 to speak with someone about hospice care. That was 912-588-0080. We are your hometown hospice, and we are here to serve you. Hospice of South Georgia, working to add life to your days.
All right, we continue on with the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO. Bob, who do we have in the studio with us?
Well, we got state swimmer Jet Townsend. We got the swim coach as well. So we'll start with the coach. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Coach.
I'm Melissa Francisco. I am the
Repeat that again.
Melissa Francisco.
Okay.
I'm the school coach, and then Dave Oliver is our other coach. So, but he's not here this morning.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate you giving us all the information all through. Tell us when does the swim season begin for these kids at high school, and when do they practice? Like I said, everybody knows we don't have a pool, so how's it work?
The swim season actually begins in October. We had a late start due to trying to secure a facility for our swimmers to practice. We ended up, the kids actually had to take a bus after, what time, 4:45 they got on the bus, and so that they could get in the water at 5:30.
And where do they go?
Appling County.
So they have a YMCA, or
They have the Appling County
they have a
Aquatic
beautiful
Center.
pool there at the
Beautiful,
school, yeah.
great setup.
So it's at their school.
No, sir. It is, well, it's like a joint agreement between their school system and the rec department. I think the rec department is the primary owner of the pool.
I got you. So, and that's what I wanted to ask you, because I understand since kids have to do that every day, there's not a lot of numbers in the high school swim program.
Our numbers are extremely low this year because of the massive commitment that is to go into the evening hours.
Right, because
So well after you've gotten out of school, you've got to come back to school.
Right. What time do they get back? Like, so it's
About
late.
6:45, 7.
So, and then they got to go study and.
Right,
do
and they were
things.
only getting an hour in the pool with that limited time constraint. So,
And that's the problem. Is you don't get as much time in.
Right.
A lot of sports end around the same time, but just they have to get a
They've
lot
been
more.
in practice.
Get a lot more practice in like that. And luckily, in a few years, we'll have one here. But it doesn't, doesn't help right now. But at least in 2 or 3 years from now, we'll have one here in town.
But despite those obstacles, we found success.
We've had a really
lot of good-
dedicated group of
lot
kids.
Of kids, right? And we got one sitting right here, Mr. Jet Townsend. Jet, first of all, congratulations on all your success this year.
Thank you.
You recently competed at state, finished in 2 events. First of all, tell us what kind of campus and swim. And that had to be a good experience to go to campus at Georgia Tech and their beautiful swim. I mean, I've seen that. It's a beautiful place. So how was that experience?
It was great. I had never been to a pool so big. It was used in the Olympics.
Yeah,
one
that was
time,
one of
so-
the things left over from the Olympics was that pool there.
Right.
Absolutely gorgeous. Great facilities.
It's just a giant pool, and they set these barriers in between them. So then they divided up into smaller pools. It was really cool.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the one at University of Georgia?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous facility also.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, who your parents are, what grade you're in high school.
So I'm in 11th grade right now. My parents are Jarrett and Jennifer Townsend, and I've been swimming since I was about 8. Shout out to the Carters. They're the ones that got me into swimming. I wouldn't be here without them.
You've been practicing sometimes with the teams that are on Oren Way on the pool in the backyard there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So tell us, the steps. You have the regular season, then you have the qualifying for the region. So where all did you go? How did it work? And how did you get to the finals of state?
We went to Ware a couple times, the YMCA there. We swam in Perry, Warner Robins, Perry, the giant. I think it's a Special Olympics pool. So they train there.
Oh, let me cut your mic on. Go ahead.
When we swam at the region meet, that was another really great pool that we got to experience this year. Beautiful.
Perry?
Perry Warner Robins.
Okay.
Area. It is the Houston County Aquatic Center, so it's right behind Houston County High School. Again, I think it is a rec department school system partnership. They have a 20-lane pool, short course pool, which converts to a 10-lane long course pool. So they were able to run a great meet, a fast meet. We had a lot of success there.
What events do you swim in, Jet?
I made it to state in the 50 and 100 freestyle.
All right, that's like the 100 and 200 yard dash in track, isn't it?
Just about, yes, sir.
Just about that, just wide open.
And
All out.
And tell us how you finished in both events.
So I made it to the finals in both. I finished 16th in the 100 free and 17th in the 50 free.
So what do you get for finishing the finals? They give you a medal or things like that, or
Just a
what do you get?
pat on the back.
A pat on the back.
Yep, gotta get top 3 to get any recognition.
Am I still on?
You're still on.
So you're just top 3. I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah, I'm leaving you on now since you're injecting comment.
Well,
And introduce yourself one more time.
Melissa Francisco?
All right. Now,
And
did
this
you
is my
swim before?
I did. I took early retirement about his age, but I swam through my youth. I swam for the Brunswick Y swim team
Okay.
many moons ago. And then I swam in high school at Darlington in North Georgia. So
Okay. And how did you end up here in Wayne County as a teacher and coach?
applied for a job.
You
Here
applied for
I-
a job and you got the job.
And
Okay.
I actually commute, so that was
Oh, do you?
an
Okay.
additional layer to our Appling County journey. is
Oh, wow.
I live on the coast, so
oh, okay. Well,
commute
there's a lot
here.
of folks who work over this way that
Right.
live that way, yeah.
So good times. And we did have some support for another one of our teachers in the school system. Coach Young was able to come and kind of fill the void when I wasn't able to be there. We really appreciate his help. But I wanted to add something to what Jet finishing in the finals. While he didn't get anything, the kids he went up against are swim at Westminster, Lovett, Pace. They swim year round for Swim Atlanta, Dynamo, these massive clubs. And Jet, what we logged, 19 hours in the pool? So it's really an accomplishment.
That is.
And for a sprinter, he is usually they're about 6'3". So
It always amazes me the time difference between first, second, and third in these short races, even long races, but especially the short races like the 50 and 100. I mean, it can be like a tenth of a second.
Hundredths, I think it's what
And
they were
hundreds
separated
sometimes.
by.
It's just absolutely amazing that you just figure if I let my fingernail grow out a little bit, I don't want.
Well, again, like I said, we appreciate the coach getting us the information throughout the year, but we just wanted to get you in there and talk about your experience that in the Georgia Tech. You're the only swimmer from Wayne County to qualify for the state in 2 events. So, congratulations. So, I'm sure you're gonna. Does it fuel the fire going to an event like that and being in the finals? Does that just you get motivated to come back and work harder and try to get back there again?
Absolutely. Next year, I'm shooting for a school record, actually.
Our school record?
Our Wayne County High School school
All right.
record.
Who has a school record right now?
Right now, I don't know I'm going for the 50 free, Alex Croy, back in 2011.
2011, huh? Okay.
And the 500 free. I don't know his name. Oh, Luke Hendricks, that's right.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mhm.
So you'll continue on it. Bob and I were talking about the other day. We have the piranhas that come in before they head to state. This last year it was in Moultrie from the recreation swim team, and it's we got packed with the younger group, we're packed with the older group, and it's just a shame that the numbers drop off so much as you get into the high school area, and hopefully those will pick back up once we get our own pool. Could you imagine the baseball team or the football team or the soccer team or the tennis team or the cross-country team or track team having to travel out of town to go practice on a bus and then come back? And that's the obstacles y'all have to do there with the swim team at Wayne County High School, and that'll be solved in a couple of years.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
I think
we're going to
everybody's
have our
looking
own
forward
pool.
to that, right? But and hats off to the dedication, like I said, because like I said, that's why I want you to talk about. Like I said, that's what I heard. That the reason the numbers are down is because it's tough for kids to make that commitment every day to get on a bus, go somewhere, come
Right.
back, get home late.
The summer league pool
Yeah.
is outside, so
Right,
it
so-
does us no favors that swim is a winter sport.
Right.
Yeah, it's just amazing that swimming is a winter sport. Swimming, winter. Yeah.
Again, those big schools in Atlanta have access to indoor facilities.
Oh, they got all those indoor facilities.
Right,
Yeah.
so-
Where there's the big money is, there's big facilities, and they just have that. And it's amazing, Chet, that you did as well as you did. And did you tell anybody your story? I got to get on bus every afternoon, travel 40 miles, 30 miles out of town, practice, and I only get to practice for an hour, and then got to come back. And these guys are saying, they're probably saying, and you did as well as you did with that little bit of practice and that the time commitment that you have to have. But just congratulations, Jet, on representing Wayne County and doing so well there at state.
Thank you.
Never complained. None of the kids ever complained. So that was really great. Like, as hard as it is, they never complained, put in the work. A lot of them juggle multiple sports. I think the GPA of the team is something like a 3.8. So
Do you do any other sports, Jet? Or
Yes,
swimming it? Oh, what do you do?
I run cross country, and I'm going into soccer right now.
Oh, you're going. Okay, you're playing right now, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
All right. What position do you play?
I usually play left back in defense.
Left back on defense. Okay. Is this your first year in soccer, or have you been playing for many years?
I've been playing since I was little.
Since he's a little
Little.
Yeah,
Mhm.
a lot of folks have been. So it's good that you got multiple sports that you can go and have and continue to keep that physical activity going and have different activities going, and that's good.
Yes, sir.
All right. I know the coaches really promote that to play different sports. All right. Jet, I know that you're anxious to get to Wayne County High School and get some good learning in. And I know you got some teaching to do, right?
I do.
What do you teach?
I teach social studies, inclusion, and so special education.
Oh, okay. All right. You'll be back next year as the swim coach?
To be determined. And I did want to give a shout out to our athletic director, Jess McDonald, and his secretary, Cynthia Brandon, who without them, we would have never figured all this out. They were really instrumental in helping us make this happen
That's
this year.
great.
Because we came to the problem of where to practice, and boom, they just, of course, Dave Oliver, who's really
Yeah, the Oliver.
heartbeat of
yeah.
the swim program and has been for many, many years. And it was really a joy to work with him and learn from him. So
Okay.
Fantastic.
All
Again, congrats, Jet. Appreciate you coming in.
All right. Y'all take care and have a good day. Bob, anything else? All right, that wraps up the world-famous Butch and Bob show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, and it's been brought to you by Heron Aldridge Insurance, by Murphy Builder Supply, First Southern Bank, and by the Service Department at G&S Auto Sales.